for taking a moment to get organized, but when you're holding on to that many types of scholarships, it's hard to make sure that we have everything organized. Are we ready? Oh yeah, right? It is my privilege and honor to be the representative of the top 10 of the class of 2021 to welcome our distinguished presenters, parents, friends, and classmates. The honors program at the Escanaba High School has the distinction of being one of the finest scholarship programs throughout the nation. This evening, members of the class of 2021 will become the recipients of scholarships made available through the generosity of the community. On behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to thank the Board of Education and the Scholarship Committee members who have been entrusted to monitor and maintain the integrity of this program. In recognition of their outstanding scholastic achievement, the 10 graduates who rank highest in their class in grade point average are presented with a medallion to signify their outstanding academic efforts. The following 2021 top 10 students are in alphabetical order. When I call your name, please step forward. Aspen Birch. Glycuria economopoulos. Gavin Erickson. Madeline Gardner. Lisette Lefebvre. Nathan Lord. Bryant Mackey. Madison Mishika. Molly Tackman. And Jenny Zhao. And now for your enjoyment, the Escanaba High School Graduation Choir, under the direction of Sydney Ogren, will now perform My Heart Be Brave by Marcus L.A. Garrett. At this time, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of the Escanaba Area Public Schools, Dr. Kobe Fletcher.
Start off by saying what a pleasure it is to be able to be here in this forum with all of you tonight and to be able to recognize the hard work of so many of our graduating seniors and by extension to recognize their support network, which is also here tonight, because we would not be here were it not for the hard work of these young men and women, but also the families that are there backing them up and pushing them on. My first job tonight is to read you the fine print. So here we go. The Escanaba Area Public School District participates in one of the largest scholarship programs in the United States today. The students, according to class rank, are eligible to apply for these scholarships. The class rank is based on a student's academic achievements from grades 9 through 12. 194 scholarships will be awarded tonight. $439,000 from our high school scholarship program, combined with $161,000 in privately selected local scholarships, gives Escanaba High School a grand total of $600,000 to be distributed to 86 seniors on the priority list. That is an awesome number. You won't find that in very many other places. The priority list is based upon 75% grade point average and 25% state assessment scores. These seniors have succeeded in very difficult competition promoting academic excellence and scholarship. The award is not a cash gift to students upon graduation from high school. Regulations have been established to ensure that it is used to finance a college education. Recipients of many of these scholarships receive a portion as a freshman and must continue to qualify academically each year to receive the other payments. Any unused portion is returned to the scholarship fund. Priority scholarship selections are based on the student priority list ranking. Few exceptions are carefully chosen upon the donor's specific scholarship requirements. Scholarship regulations are available online on our website and from the high school office. We offer our congratulations not only to the scholarship recipients, but also to all graduates and their families tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Glikaria Economopoulos, and I would like to introduce you to Mrs. Darcy Stenfors, the principal of the Escanaba Junior and Senior High School.
I want to apologize. I have one housekeeping item to take care of with our group up here. Everybody that's presenting tonight, we are live streaming out right now to an audience outside of the building, and the corded mic requires you to lean into the microphone so that it can be very clearly broadcast. So I'm going to ask all of our presenters to make sure that you lean into the mic so it's nice and clear. Okay? Each year, I have the opportunity to select and award a student who has shown incredible optimism, integrity, and school spirit during their time spent here at the Escanaba High School. It is my great honor to have selected a very special young man who exhibits all of these qualities. He is always quick to lend a helping hand and has even tutored some of his classmates to help them achieve their diploma on Friday night. He is passionate about becoming a teacher here at EHS after he graduates from Valparaiso. I am so proud of who he has become. And this year, I have chosen Whiteley Wymanen as the recipient of the 2021. Sorry, can see the white or the gray colored platform down here. Feel free to come up that gray platform and you will be receiving it right up here, okay? All right, thanks, Whiteley. The Escanaba branch of the American Association of University Women, otherwise known as the AAUW, supports achievement in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. AAUW recognizes 2 seniors for outstanding achievement in science and math. Congratulations to J.C. Moreau for mathematics and Madison Mishikuk for science. The YAC Scholarship is awarded to members of the Community Foundation's Youth Advisory Committee, known as the YAC. It is based on years of service and level of participation. The scholarship was established by the Board of Trustees upon the recommendation of the Executive Director, Gary LaPlante. The recipient is Glyceria Economopoulos. Sorry. I am representing the American Legion Cloverland Post of 82 in place of its donor tonight. I have the privilege to present the American Legion School Award to a senior girl and a senior boy who exemplify qualities of honor, courage, leadership, scholarship, and patriotism. The American Legion Post 82 of Escanaba is awarding medallions and scholarship to the young lady and young man who most demonstrate these qualities. This year's recipients are Emma Johnson and Brody Bevins.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Lord, and I would like to introduce you to Carolyn Mozicki.
Good evening, and thank you to Escanaba High School for honoring these seniors and being able to provide them with the recognition they deserve. Thank you for an opportunity to present an award that is very clearly near and dear to our hearts. The family of Tim Kabasic is proud to be a part of the Escanaba High School Honors Program and are humbled to be able to be here presenting them personally to 2 very special seniors. The recipients of these awards are receiving them on behalf of the Tim Kabasic Memorial Fund in honor of my dad, Tim Kabasic. Tim, my dad, unexpectedly passed away on November 25th, 2018. He had 5 children who all graduated from Escanaba High School. He was a loyal Eskimo fan and donated much of his time as a paramedic on the sidelines of football games and other sporting events. He spent years following his children in many events in athletics they participated in. He loved to follow high school sports after his kids graduated and was patiently waiting to one day see his grandchildren follow in his children's footsteps. Although his physical presence on this earth was much shorter than we would have liked, His hard work, dedication to his community, and efforts to impact and give to the youth is something that we are still seeing today. After 2.5 years, almost to the day without him, he woke up each day and committed himself to helping others no matter the cost. It was in his blood, and it was what he lived for. We often wonder what his impact would have been over the last year with the many obstacles our community has faced. As a paramedic, he was coincidentally and oftentimes the first responder to the scene, and his steady hands and solid mind saved lives. It is possible that someone can sit in this room today because they experienced his care at one time or another. He took on many roles within his paramedic role and lived to educate and care for this community. The role of paramedic EMT is vital, and he sure was proud. It takes a special person to enter the medical field, especially right now. Strength, courage, commitment, and care are just a few of the qualities it takes.
Although he loved the adrenaline rush of a paramedic, he also had a true passion for the outdoors. He respected it, believed in conservation, and lived for the camaraderie of the hunt. He invested in youth and the outdoors. He invested in all of you. The soon-to-be graduates sitting in front of us. He was an asset to the convincing conservation organizations to donate to local children in foster care and the foster families they were in. He once told these organizations in his efforts that maybe we should not consider this a donation, but an investment in the most important renewable resource this world has, our kids. He worked endlessly with the state of Michigan, the governor's task force, and Delta County to keep our woods and trails safe for future generations. He donated endless hours teaching hunter safety courses and providing insight and education to our youth and adults. He played a major role in the creation of the Escanaba ORV Trail that is widely used today. His vacancy in many of these roles is still felt. A meaningful life is not about being rich, being popular, being right, or being perfect. It's about being real, being humble, being a listener, being strong, and being a trailblazer with the ability to share ourselves and positively impact the lives of others. In the words of my dad, it's our job to do good. We hope that for the recipients of these awards, this is just the beginning of your journey to do good. We consider this award an investment in the most renewable resource this world has, and that is all of you soon-to-be graduates. With that said, tonight we honor Tim, my dad, and we especially honor two very deserving individuals with the 3rd Annual Memorial Scholarship in his name. One for an individual entering the fisheries wildlife management field, and the other for an individual entering the field of EMT paramedics. It is with the utmost honor that on behalf of Tim Kavasic, his wife Mary Kay, and their 5 children, that we congratulate this year's recipients of these academic honors. Please help me in congratulating Grace Charles and Easton Young.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Mackey, and I'm here to introduce AMVETS Commander Mark List.
The local AMVETS Post 123 is proud to be a part of the honors program awarding the scholarship to a graduate who is attending college, has great academic standings, and has an affiliation to the military. This year's AMVETS Post 123 scholarship goes to Brett Schellenvogt.
Good evening, my name is Aspen Birch, and I will be introducing Jeremy Kadish and John Aberhart of Camdo Rail Services.
is Jeremy Kadish with Can-Do Rail Services and Terminals. This is John Eberhardt. He's the regional superintendent for Can-Do. We're fairly new to the area as a company, but something that Can-Do likes to do is to stay involved with our communities by offering a Can-Do Spirit Award. This award is given to a student who has proven to have leadership, determination, great work ethics, and the ability to take a risk, all while keeping their integrity. This year's 2021 Can-Do Spirit Award goes to Jenny Zhao.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lizette Lefebvre, and it is my pleasure to introduce my cousin Amy Pry and her parents Joseph and Mary Dirkos.
Good evening. My brother Danny Dirkos was a healthy, lively, intelligent little boy. At the age of 4, an accident occurred during a minor surgery, resulting in Danny living the remaining 36 years of his life as a quadriplegic with severe brain damage. No longer could he walk, no longer could he run, no longer could he talk. But through it all, Danny always had a smile on his face. He touched so many lives. He loved every single person he met unconditionally, and he impacted the lives of everyone who was privileged to have known him. We pray that Danny's memory, first and foremost, will live on through this scholarship. Second of all, we pray that the recipient of the scholarship will continue to make a difference in the lives of children with special needs. And most importantly, we pray that the recipient of this scholarship lives a life following Danny's example. Smile and love everyone unconditionally. On behalf of Danny's parents, Joe and Mary Dirkos, and his siblings, Jim, Joe, and myself, congratulations and best wishes to Nicholas Carlson.
Hello, my name is Madeline Gardner, and I have the honor of introducing to you tonight Jalen and Jared Dashna of Elmer's County Market.
Elmer, Phoebe, and Wayne Dashna were all lifelong residents of Escanaba. Over the years, they have employed thousands of area high school students at Elmer's County Market and devoted their lives to serving our community, area schools, and their families. All three believed in giving back to the community and were always willing to offer a helping hand. The Elmer, Phoebe, and Wayne Dashna Memorial Scholarship is given in their memory as a way to show our continued appreciation and support of the many high school students employed at Elmer's.
This year we have 3 outstanding individuals selected to receive scholarships. All have been true assets to our team, willing to go the extra mile to give their best, and have been very dependable and have very positive and outgoing personalities. We are excited for the future endeavors and wish them continued success. In addition, all 3 individuals selected to join our team at the start of our pandemic as frontline employees and were willing to step up and serve the grocery needs to our community. Without further ado, and on behalf of Elmer, Phoebe, and Wayne Dashna, we would like to present scholarships to the following deserving young men whom we are proud to have on our Elmer's team. Congratulations to Brody Bevins, Nicholas Carlson, and Kaylor Guile.
Good evening, my name is Madison Mishikal, and I would like to introduce Jeff Wright, instructor.
presenting the Escanaba Youth Wrestling Club Scholarship. This tuition scholarship is awarded to a student who participated in varsity wrestling and will be attending college or a trade school. The recipient should have exhibited a positive work ethic related to scholarship, athletics, and service to the school and community. The recipient is chosen by the Escanaba Youth Wrestling Club Board of Directors. This year, there are 2 recipients, and I feel honored that I got to coach these young men, and they are Brody Bevins and Kayla Geyer.
Hello, my name is Jenny Zhao, and I am honored to introduce the Escanaba High School President, Mrs. Darcy Stensfors.
Jenny, I get to be president?
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, but that's okay. That's like a pay raise, isn't it? I mean, Dr. Fletcher, I don't know, president. I think I'm moving up in the world. Not you, though. That was cute. The Allman-Roeder family is proud to award the James F. Allman-Roeder Scholarship at tonight's banquet. James was a graduate of Escanaba High School, class of 1963, a vocational counselor at the ISD for many years, and was an active member in various community organizations. James had a strong belief in vocational education, and this award will help continue his mission of helping others pursue a career in the vocations. The Allman-Roeder family would like to congratulate this year's recipient and wish you all the best in your future pursuits. The recipient of the James F. Allman-Roeder Memorial Scholarship goes to Ryan Randall.
Good evening. I'm Molly Tackman, and I would like to introduce to you Jay Owens of the Escanaba Lions Club.
Good evening. The Escanaba Wells Lions Club has a distinguished record of service to our community. By action of our board of directors, the Lions Club is proud to take part in the Escanaba Area High School Honors Program. This year's recipient of the Escanaba Wells Lions Club Scholarship is Macy Degnan.
I would now like to introduce you to John Barras.
Good evening. Frank Barras has been an icon in Escanaba sports for the last 40 years in his role as Escanaba cheerleader and more recently crowd motivator. For those that don't know Frank, he's the Give Me an E guy. Frank died in June of 2020, and the family thought it would be fitting to forever remember him as an Eskimo by offering a scholarship in his name. Many of Frank's children and grandchildren have benefited from the generosity of the Escanaba High School Scholarship Program, so he would be proud to give back. Community service was very important to Frank, and he would be happy to financially help students pursuing a college education. All of Frank's children and most of his grandchildren have earned a college degree, with many of them also earning a master's degree. So a college education is clearly important to Frank and his family. Frank was a social worker, and his children have earned degrees in journalism, social work, accounting, and education. Therefore, preference will be given to any student planning to study social work, journalism, accounting, or education. The recipient of the Frank Barris Memorial Scholarship goes to Dawson Lambert. Congratulations, Dawson. Would you be willing to help me in a little bit of a cheer? And I don't know. You ready? Give me an E! Give me an S! Give me a K! Give me a Y! Give me an M! Give me an O! Give me an S! What's that spell? I can't hear you! One more time!
Good evening. I'm Gavin Anderson, and I would like to introduce Betty Hivela.
Good evening. My husband Neil and I are honored to be awarding the Laura M. Hivela Memorial Scholarship this evening. Our daughter Laura graduated #1 in her class from Escanaba in 1996. She was awarded the prestigious Presidential Scholar Award to attend Michigan Tech University on a full ride scholarship. She graduated from MTU in December of 2000 with a degree in environmental engineering and moved to Louisville, Kentucky in April of 2001. While in Louisville, she was employed by 2 different consulting firms working in her field of expertise. Just prior to her death, she was attending the University of Louisville in a program that would provide her with a master's degree in urban planning and ultimately a law degree, which had always been her dream. For the last 8.5 years of her life, Laura suffered from continuous migraine headaches. As a result of these ongoing medical problems, Laura passed away on January 23rd, 2010 at the age of 32. Needless to say, this has been a devastating experience for her family and friends. Shortly after her death, we began to think of ways to honor Laura. She was an Escanaba Eskimo throughout her life and wore her Eskimo clothing proudly. She was also very proud of being an alumni of Michigan Tech and had made great lifelong friends among the students and the faculty while attending Tech. Because of her love of learning and her pride in both her high school and university, we decided the best way to honor her and keep her memory alive was to award a memorial scholarship to an Escanaba grad attending Michigan Tech. With the help of many generous family members and friends of ours and Laura's, we are proud to award the Laura M. Hivela Scholarship to Bryant Mackey.
It is my pleasure to introduce next Paul Harvey.
Good evening. Good-looking group here. Congratulations to everyone. I'm with Engineered Machine Products. EMP has been powering the future in Escanaba since 1991, or actually 1981, for 40 years. Through this period, Brian Larsch and his family, they've been dedicated to creating jobs, investing in the community, investing in local initiatives through grants and scholarships all across Delta County. By supporting our community, Brian's goal has been to inspire the next generation of leaders. To that end, each year, EMP offers 4 $10,000 scholarships to eligible seniors from Escanaba, Gladstone, and Bark River High Schools. and this year one is an Escanaba. Tonight, it is my honor and privilege on behalf of EMP and the Large family, all of our employees, to award a $10,000 engineering scholarship to Mr. Nathan Lord.
Next, I would like to introduce a very close family friend, and as a matter of fact, a member of my family. She is, I think, my second cousin twice removed. Here is Crystal Kubasik of the Daniel J. Kubasik Foundation.
Hello, thank you. The nice introduction. It is an honor to be here tonight. And I apologize, I may get emotional. It's my first time presenting on this behalf. But it is an honor to be here tonight on behalf of the Daniel J. Kubasik Foundation to award the Daniel J. Kubasik STEM Scholarship. Before presenting this award, I'd like to give you a little background on this new foundation. Dan Kubasik was born and grew up here in Escanaba. At 17, he headed west to San Francisco, and he sailed the world as a merchant marine. Some years later, he returned home to Escanaba, and he started a Shakey's Pizza franchise. This was the means to his end, to start a shipyard. And start a shipyard he did. When Dan Kubasik left home, he was not sent off with any scholarships. With no formal education, he built a fishing trawler, which I understand is still floating to this day. He went on to build over 240 vessels, which are afloat today in freshwater and saltwater, both near and far. He was an extraordinary man who accomplished extraordinary things. On his passing, he created this foundation with a bigger picture in mind. The foundation is a means to his end, is a means for his generosity and desire to help others to live on. It was made possible by the hard work and dedication and grit of himself, Dan, and his brother Claude, who is also his business partner, brother, and best friend. The foundation is now dedicated to enabling the growth, education, and well-being of motivated individuals whose work positively contributes to humanity. It is my honor to present the Daniel J. Kubasik STEM Scholarship to not one, but to two graduating seniors. They have already demonstrated to do just that, to positively contribute to society. It was my father, Daniel Kubasik, who taught me the hard lessons that nobody else dared to do. And he taught me that intelligence goes far beyond books. These are qualities that we look for in Daniel J. Kubasik Scholar. This scholarship is awarded for $15,000 to be renewed up to 4 years to an academically excellent student who also has proven ambition, strength of character, and community involvement. It is my pleasure to award these two students who also demonstrate not only this academic excellence, but have proven to be dedicated to helping others and have proven to me to have wisdom far beyond their years. Congratulations goes to Nick Carlson. And a congratulations to Madison, Michigan.
Please help me welcome the presenter of the next scholarship, Mrs. Elizabeth Schlembold.
Parents. Good evening. The first scholarship tonight that I get to present is the Steve Friedoff and John T. Gassmith Memorial Scholarship. Steve Friedoff spent 13 years guiding Escanaba's technology program. The use of technology to enhance a student's education was always his top priority. This was a mindset made clear by his motto, concentrate on what technology does, not what technology is. The John T. Gass Memorial Scholarship, established by his family and is awarded to a graduate who intends to obtain a bachelor's degree through Michigan State University. The recipient of the Steve Friedoff and John Gassman Memorial Scholarship is Lucaria Ekanala. Lori McConner was a dedicated elementary art teacher for the Escanaba Area High School. Lori's family has established this scholarship to honor her memory and love for art. Lori had the gift to inspire creativity in the children she taught. She made everyone feel like an artist, and after her retirement, all of her grandchildren became her students. This year's recipient of the Lori McConner Memorial Scholarship is Vanessa Fields. Kenneth Peterson was a lifelong resident of the Upper Peninsula and a teacher at Escanaba High School for 32 years. He was the head of the mathematics department and a believer in continuing education for all students. Through his wife, Faye, and their 3 children who graduated from Escanaba High School, the Kenneth and Faye Peterson Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Madeline Gardner. Donation from Community Foundation for Delta County, it is my honor to award the Community Foundation Scholarship to Isabella Norton. Mr. John Chernick was a lifelong resident of the Escanaba area. He and his wife, Irene, raised 3 children that graduated from Escanaba High School. Mr. Chernick was awarded the Purple Heart during World War II. He was also an avid outdoorsman that loved nature and particularly the beauty of the Upper Peninsula. The recipient of John and Irene Chernick Memorial Scholarship, Aspen Birch.
Now my honor to introduce Michelle Geyer, instructor here at EHS.
Good evening, everyone. Gene Timmer was a former Eskimo athlete who was awarded the Herman Gessner Trophy in 1970. He subsequently played collegiate football at Michigan Technological University and semi-professional football at Madison, Wisconsin. He had also distinguished himself in Upper Peninsula amateur basketball and softball. This scholarship is presented to a graduating male athlete with an interest in continuing his athletic career. This year's recipient of the Gene Timmer Memorial Scholarship is Tyler Lawson. Mr. Henry Wiley was a conservation teacher and a track coach in Escanaba for 41 years. This scholarship was established in his memory to be awarded annually to a senior who earns a letter in track or cross country, ranks scholastically in the upper half of the graduating class. The recipient of the Henry Wiley Memorial Scholarship is Derek Douglas. percussionist in the high school band from 1973 to 1977. He attended Northern Michigan University and North Texas State, pursuing coursework in music, primarily in jazz. This year's recipient of the Dean Derwine Memorial Scholarship is Keely Pomeroy. John and Barbara Coons both were avid golfers. They encouraged their children and grandchildren to learn the sport as well. They also took a special interest in supporting local youth as they developed their golf game. This scholarship was established in part by the many family and friends who wish to honor John and Barb's memory by allowing a young golfer the opportunity to continue their education while pursuing the game of golf. The recipient of the John and Barbara Coons Golf Scholarship is Curtis Kuchenberg. The James Lindstrom Memorial Scholarship has been established by his family to honor a loving, caring husband, father, and grandfather. After graduating from NMU with a teaching degree, he spent the next 30 years dedicated to his family, teaching physical education, and his passion for coaching football. Jim touched the hearts and souls of students and athletes, and as a result of his accomplishments, was inducted into the NMU Hall of Fame for the class of 2001. The recipient of the Jim Lindstrom Memorial Scholarship is Brody Bevins.
Next, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Kobe Fletcher, our Superintendent of Schools.
Robert Masinski was a respected teacher, coach, and administrator in the Escanaba area schools. He was a history and English teacher, football coach, and served as principal of both the junior and senior high schools. This year's recipient of the Robert Masinski Memorial Scholarship is Emma Johnson. Scholarship is given by her son, Glenn Berhow, a 1976 graduate of the HS, and her grandson, Zach Berhow of Dallas, Texas. Rona passed away in 1984 from cancer at the age of 48 before Zach was born. Rona was a loving mother of 4 children that always put her children first. She grew up in a non-parent home, started working at the age of 16, and never got to finish high school. She was a very active member at Salem Lutheran Church and the Highland Golf Club. Her son, Glenn, said his mom was the most selfless, loving, giving, and hardest working person he has ever known. He could not have thought of a better way to honor her memory than with this scholarship award tonight. On behalf of the Berhow family, they wish you the best in your academic goals and hope you carry Rona Ray Berhow's work ethic and family dedication throughout your life. Congratulations, Mackenzie King. The Mary St. Pierre Memorial Scholarship is given to a senior interested in vocal music. Mary intensively studied opera internationally and graduated with a bachelor's degree in voice and musical theater and received a master's degree in music education. She has used her skills throughout her life to either sing or teach others the gift of music. This year's recipient of the Mary St. Pierre Memorial Scholarship is Ariella Murray. Greg B. Johnson graduated from Escanaba High School as the class president of 1969. His experience at Michigan State University instilled a passion for the Spartans that he was known for by all who knew him. Greg's business degree led him to the purchase of Wickert Floral Company in 1980, which he owned and operated. He was very active in the Escanaba Lions Club. His 3 children, Matthew, Mark, and Beth, all Michigan State graduates, hope this scholarship will assist an Escanaba High School graduate. The recipient of the Greg B. Johnson Memorial Scholarship is Ava Burrows. The Stephen C. Baltic Memorial Scholarship has been created by family and friends in honor of his dedication to the Escanaba area public schools. Steve began his career with Escanaba as a teacher and coach at the old high school located on 8th Avenue South and became the first principal at this high school. Completing his principalship in 1965, he moved on to the Wiley Administration Building where he became the business manager. Steve was able to attend college because of the scholarships he received in high school. The recipient of the Stephen C. Baltic Memorial Scholarship is Aaron Davidson.
It is my honor to introduce Anthony Carino, EHS Athletic Director.
The Herman Gesner Award started in 1924. As of 1991, the financial support for this award was discontinued, but because of a generous donation from Mr. Robert Fotenhauer, the award will continue as the Fotenhauer-Gesner Scholarship and Award. This award is presented each year to the graduating girl and boy who have contributed to the most to this school in athletics and service. The recipients of the Fotenhauer-Gesner Awards are Nicole Kameen and Brian Mackey. Cook Derwin was born and raised in Escanaba, Michigan. His memorial scholarship was established by his wife Karen and their two daughters, Tanya and Tricia. Cook started his business out of his garage until 1991 when he opened Derwin's Auto Body and Collision. He sponsored many programs for area youth and served on many boards. Cook believed that every person that came through his door was a friend. He was known for his generosity and always helping people. Cook loved working on cars and spending time with his grandchildren. He always believed that our youth should be taught more vocational skills in school. It is through this scholarship we honor Cook's memory. It is an honor to reward the Cook Derwin Auto Collision Scholarship to Gabe Wagner. Stephen Milkowitz was a member of the class of 1975. His family donated money in Stephen's memory to provide a scholarship to a senior who will attend Badenoch Community College. This year's recipient of the Stephen M. Milkowitz Scholarship is Aspen Birch. Bob Haslam was an avid sports fan who especially loved following his grandchildren's achievements. He and his wife Judy raised their 3 children that all graduated from Escanaba High School. Bob was employed as a broadcast engineer with WDVC and WYKX, ensuring that the coverage of the Eskimos was always on the air. The recipient of the Robert L. Haslam Memorial Scholarship, Mr. Brody Bevins.
I am happy to introduce Katie Curtis, Counselor of EHS.
Hart Neubauer graduated from Escanaba High School. During his school years, he played in the band, appeared in several school plays, participated in wrestling, and was a member of the chorale and excelled in football. He was passionate about sports teams, NASCAR, music, fun, and family. This year's recipient of the Hart Neubauer Memorial Scholarship is Shaylee McCoskey. The Kenneth Iverson Memorial Golf Scholarship is awarded to a senior that loves golf and intends to play golf in the future. Kenneth was very passionate about the game of golf. He honored the rules and had a desire to master the game. Ken Iverson enjoyed playing with his family, friends, or anyone who felt as passionate about the game as he did. The recipient of the Kenneth Iverson Memorial Golf Scholarship is Curtis Kuchenberg. Through the generous efforts of the class of 1966, this scholarship is made possible to a worthy senior who will attend Badenoch Community College. The recipient of the class of 1966 scholarship is Sage Clark. The Susan C. and Thomas D. Dufour Memorial Scholarship was established to honor the loss of a loving wife and son. Mrs. Dufour was a very active parent who assisted with many school projects. Thomas participated in high school concert band, marching band, and pep band. This year's recipient of the Susan C. and Thomas D. Dufour Memorial Scholarship is Kayla Geyer. William Van Effen was a graduate of the class of 1938 and was an extremely active citizen of the community. This scholarship award in memory of Mr. Bill Van Effen is presented to a graduating senior who will pursue a career in engineering. This year's recipient is Bryant Mackey.
Next, I would like to introduce to you Assistant Principal Jessica Garber.
Good evening. Sam Cahotas was a respected businessman, a banker, and a generous contributor throughout the Upper Peninsula. There are examples of his generosity throughout the UP, including many high schools in our area. This year's recipient of the Sam Cahotas Memorial Scholarship is Vanessa Fields. Mrs. Esther Fernstrom was well known for her musical talents and abilities and for having been the organist at the First United Presbyterian Church for over 50 years. The recipient of the Esther Fernstrom Scholarship is awarded to a student who will pursue a course of study in the field of music. This year's recipient is Kira Magnuson. In the late 50s, Mr. John Lemmer, the superintendent of schools in Escanaba, hired a new teacher and coach by the name of Jerome Svengros. He came to be better known as Jerry. Along with his wife, Shelley, they raised 4 children in Escanaba. How lucky we were to have the Svengros family become part of the community. Jerry was an assistant football coach for Al Sigmund. After Coach Sigmund left in 1962, Jerry took over as head football coach for the Eskimos. What an impression he left before joining the Michigan High School Athletic Association in Lansing. Jerry's legacy will remain among Esky sports fans, fellow teachers, administrators, and his legion of friends that admired Jerry for being who he was, a down-to-earth guy. Family and friends started this scholarship in Jerry's memory. The recipient of the Jerry Spengross Memorial Scholarship is Molly Tackman. The Spotlights organization was formed to assist performing arts students in fulfilling their dreams and aspirations. The Spotlight logo is symbolic of the real spotlight the students often find themselves in. The recipients of the Spotlights patrons of the Escanaba School Performing Arts Scholarship are Amanda Beam and Aaron Davidson. The Delta Kappa Gamma Beta Sigma Scholarship is awarded to a female pursuing a career in education. It is given in recognition of academic leadership and extracurricular achievements and a passion for personal learning and helping others learn. On behalf of all the members of the Delta Kappa Gamma International, an honorary organization of women educators, this competitive scholarship is presented to Kendra Bouchard.
I would now like to introduce you to Christine Aiken.
Testing. Russ Jager graduated from EHS in 1994 and was voted most class spirit. He was awarded a letter for his time spent in assisting football, basketball, and track. Russ was a friend to all and will be remembered most for his loyal and loving spirit. On behalf of Russ's family and the class in 1994 and his friends who made this scholarship possible, this year's recipient of the Russ Jager Memorial Scholarship goes to Makara Hughes. Robert J. and Joshua A. Bittner were two brothers who were free spirits and very independent. They had a great love for the outdoors and nature and all that it had to offer. Bobby and Josh were real people persons, willing to help families and friends alike. They could touch with their words, infectious smiles, or their sense of humor. In the spirit and memory, the recipient of the Robert J. and Joshua A. Bittner Memorial Scholarship is Lisette LaFave. Bud Staggett, otherwise known as Mr. Fan Club, has dedicated many years to the Eskimo Fan Club. This scholarship in his honor and will be awarded to a student who has shown excellent leadership in the classroom and at school activities. This scholarship is intended to further secondary studies at Bay College or at a specialized technological program. The recipient of the Bud Staggett Memorial Scholarship is Brett Schlemble. Good job, Shenny. Escanaba Senior High School receives a generous donation from Bay Bank of Escanaba to be given annually. This year's recipient of the Bay Bank Scholarship is Alexandria Dubois. The Delta County Trades and Labor Council represents and promotes the trades and labor occupations throughout Delta County and the Upper Peninsula. This year's recipient, and there's two, of the Delta County Trades and Labor Council Award is Scott Pendergraff and Ethan Bennett. Bob Dunstone Memorial Scholarship was established by his wife Joanne and her children Connie and Robert to honor Bob. Bob Dunstone taught at the junior high school for 26 years. I had him as a teacher. He made learning fun and exciting in the social studies, conservation, and other subjects, including woodshop. Added to his legacy, Bob developed and wrote a hunter safety booklet, which I took. He was very active in our community and always remained a great husband, father, and grandfather. He also served as a summer cop with the Escanaba Public Safety and later served as a Marine deputy for the Delta County Sheriff's Department. Bob was also a veteran who served our country for 3 years in the Army during the Korean conflict. As a passenger, Bob was tragically killed in a car accident due to black ice in January of 2015. His legacy in education will be remembered and honored by providing a scholarship to a worthy graduate who has proven to be a good student, an asset to our community, and who demonstrates good morals and dedication to family and friends. So it's an honor to reward this Bob Dunstone Memorial Scholarship to Anna Valakit.
I would now like to introduce Board of Education Treasurer Todd Milkowitz.
Mae Cunningham taught her children to be independent, creative, and keep their dignity and pride through the lean Depression years. They completed high school and graduated with honors. In gratitude of the growing years in Escanaba, especially the Escanaba school system, the family is delighted to award the Cunningham Family Scholarship to Keeler Geyer. Josephine and Margaret Sakeley were born in Escanaba to Lebanese immigrants, Joseph and Mary Sakeley. The sisters devoted their lives to the Escanaba community, the time and resources to their church, their family, and their school system. Josephine and Margaret believe in giving back to the community, and it is that spirit they give this scholarship. On behalf of the cutting-edge former proprietors of Sakeley's Confectionery Gifts, the sweetest store in town, the recipient of the Joseph Mary Sakeley, Josephine and Margaret Memorial Scholarship is Isabel Nordine. The Sally Stack Fontaine Sports Award is presented annually to a graduating female athlete entering college who has met the academic requirements lettered in 2 sports and is chosen by the athletic department. The award is presented to Lilia Hughes. The Escanaba Education Association Technical Proficiency Award. The Escanaba Education Association has established a scholarship award to a student planning to enroll in an accredited vocational technical post-secondary program. This year's recipient is Adam Krieger? Credit? The Escanaba Heartbreakers and Escanaba Little League combined as a team effort to present a scholarship to a softball player who has invested in both programs as a young adult. This year's recipient is McKenna Bullen. Escanaba Little League, in conjunction with The Escanaba Bears baseball program sponsored a scholarship for a deserving young graduate boy. This year's recipient is Colin Arndt.
It is my honor to introduce next Bob Shaler, Board of Education President. David Nordine had dedicated 53 years of his life as a member of the Escanaba City Band. Music has been a big part of his life as he began playing the trumpet and accordion in grade school. David and his wife, Lois, raised 3 children, Brad, Alan, and Laura, all of which graduated from Escanaba High School, and they were all involved in the music program. It was their passion of music that this award is presented to a graduate who plans to continue the study of music. This year's recipient of the David Norden Music Scholarship, Thomas Hubert. The Peter D. Adamini taught English and speech at Escanaba Senior High School for many years. He was a mentor and friend to his students, many of whom are now pursuing careers in the fine and performing arts because of his encouragement. This year's scholarship is made possible through the donation from his former student, Ann Wood. The Peter Adamini Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Thomas Hubert. This next award is given to 5 recipients, so please hold your applause till they all get up here. Because of Edward Sackerson's concern for the young people of this area, their character development, and his strong belief in the importance of education and its profound impact on young people, he established, with the help of his sister Helen, this scholarship. The recipients of the Edward J. Sackerson Memorial Scholarship are Curtis Kuchenberg, Aspen Birch, Brody Bevins, Shaylee Mikowski, Paige Bohanowitz. Joan Hess-Ferrari had an interest in young people and education and supported both. Her family thought it was appropriate to continue this support forever with the scholarship, which also honors her daughter, Joan Smaglin. The recipient of the Joan Hess-Ferrari Scholarship is Whiteley Weinman. Edward E. Edick is remembered as a teacher and administrator in the Escanaba area schools. Many recall his capable leadership and genuine interest in the youth of our community. The recipient of the Edward Edick Memorial Scholarship, Mackenzie Rickle.
I'm up here once again to introduce Counselor Liz Schlemel.
Kim Ann Milkowitz was an Escanaba High School graduate. After pursuing a career in nursing, she returned to school to earn her teaching degree. This scholarship is awarded to a student pursuing a degree in the nursing field. This year's recipient of the Kim Ann Milkowitz Memorial Scholarship is Teresa Myers. It is with great admiration for her husband, John Calloway, that his wife, Betty, and their two daughters, Nicole and Katie, generously donated this scholarship to a worthy graduate who will be studying the field of trades. John graduated from Escanaba High School and became a dedicated industrial arts teacher in Oshkosh, who had a passion helping at-risk students with success. John was considered a role model and a friend to his students in and out of the classroom. This year's recipient of the John A. Calloway Memorial Scholarship goes to Ethan Bennett. Janae Bennett was an exceptional student athlete with special interest in track, cross country, and volleyball. Her determination and grit made her a fine role model, as did her support and encouragement to her teammates and others. Janae's special contribution to her school and life was her enthusiasm and her kindness and passion for others. Joel Bennett, the younger brother, was also an athlete in Escanaba. He loved the outdoors, going to camp, hunting, and playing hockey. Joel was fun-loving and outgoing with many friends and teachers. He is remembered for his great sense of humor and his kindness to others. The Janae and Joel Bennett's Memorial Scholarship goes to Derek Douglas. David Beck was a vocal music director at Escanaba Area Public High School for 22 years. He served as chairman of the Fine Arts Department, which earned a reputation for excellence under his leadership. Members of the various chorals expressed their appreciation by combining their talents and presenting a concert in his memory. Eleanor Beck was the wife of Conrad. She was a strong supporter of the Escanaba Performing Arts and often helped behind the scenes. Eleanor was the First Lady of the AHS Chorale Department. This award is presented to a graduate who plans to continue the study of music. This year's recipient of the Conrad and Eleanor Beck Music Scholarship is Ariella Murray. The Joanne Taylor Olson Memorial Scholarship was established by the Olson family to honor their loving and dedicated wife and mother. Joanne graduated in 1958 from Escanaba High School. She continued her education at Ferris State University, completing courses leading to a secretarial career. This scholarship is given to a student who will be majoring in business or secretarial science. This year's Joanne Taylor Olson Memorial Scholarship goes to Molly Tackman.
I'd like to introduce again Katie Curtis, counselor here at Escanaba High School.
As a young, aspiring athlete, coach, and teacher, Dick Schramm started his career as a mathematics and English instructor at Escanaba High School. Throughout his tenure at Escanaba High School, he also coached football and track and was one of the top basketball and football referees in the Upper Peninsula. This year's recipient of the Richard Schramm Mathematics Scholarship goes to Trent Kurth. Grace Houston Boscia is a retired second grade teacher from John Lemmer Elementary School. Mrs. Boscia has established a scholarship in her name for a student on the academic priority list who has attended Lemmer Elementary School for a minimum of 3 years and will continue his or her studies at a college or university. This year's recipient is Scott Pendergraft. John Wesley Hanson Memorial Scholarship was established by the family and friends to honor John after his untimely death. John was a graduate of Escanaba High School and Northern Michigan University, where he completed his bachelor's and master's degrees in education. John was an avid distance runner, as a ranked Michigan competitor, and a member of the UP Roadrunners Association. He participated in major running events in the state of Michigan. Chosen by John's family, the recipient of the John Wesley Hanson Memorial Scholarship is Faith Lancourt. The American Red Cross Young Minds Change Lives Educational Scholarship Program invites schools that host blood drives to participate in their scholarship program. This scholarship is given to a deserving senior selected by the school's administration. The recipient of this year's American Red Cross Scholarship is Erin Davidson. The Lions Club International District 10 Scholarship is given to one senior selected from the entire Upper Peninsula. On behalf of the Lions Club International District 10, this year's recipient is Grace Charles.
I would now like to introduce Jim Beauchamp, Board of Education Trustee.
On behalf of the Escanaba Kiwanis, I would like to recognize two young ladies that have participated in Escanaba Key Club Service Organization for all their 4 years in high school. They're willing to step into the leadership positions as a volunteer and work in many service projects. They continue to do as much service work even through this pandemic. More recently, they've spent countless hours helping the Kiwanis Home Garden Show this spring. To recognize their efforts and contributions to the Escanaba Key Club and the Kiwanis Club, I'd like to present the scholarship checks to the following outstanding Key Club graduate seniors: Erin Davidson and Josie Schaefer. The Escanaba Educational Trust Scholarship was developed by combining several smaller awards into one scholarship. The scholarship is given in memory of honor of Ben Shulman, Evelyn Frazier, Kim Freeland, Charles Nelson Kaiser, the United Commercial Travelers Insurance, in the class of 1928 and the class of 1973. Dykema Hamina Architects, Inc., in the class of 1949. This year's recipient is Maya Stryker. Larry and Nina Fleming moved to this area and purchased Town Country Motors with the help of Nina. They operated this enterprise for over 30 years. Larry was active in Escanaba City Council, Shriners, Escanaba Country Club, and Elks, while Nina performed volunteer work at St. Francis Hospital and St. Joseph's Church. This year's recipient is Shabri England. After graduating from the University of Wisconsin, George Grapp taught graphic arts for 25 years at the Escanaba Senior High School. He had a great respect and admiration for Escanaba schools and its students. The recipient of the George Grapp Technical Scholarships are McCara Hughes and Brett Schlenville. Herbert and Irene Christian were lifelong residents of Escanaba. Mr. and Mrs. Christian never had children and generously left their money to various charities. This year's recipient of the Herbert and Irene Christian Memorial Scholarship is Isabella Tripp. Carl Oberg coached football, basketball, and track at Escanaba High School. His teams were highly successful, winning 3 district basketball titles and were UP champs in football and track. This scholarship was made available through the efforts of the Escanaba Quarterback Club and the Norberg family. The winner of the Carl Norberg Memorial Scholarship is Carter Hudson.
And again, I would like to introduce to you Anthony Perino, the athletic director.
UP Authentic, in partnership with the Community Foundation of the Upper Peninsula, is investing in the youth of the Upper Peninsula with 3 scholarships of $906 to be awarded to high school seniors looking to pursue continuing education. UP Athletic was founded by Bill Eisenring, serial entrepreneur and Innovate Marquette Smart Zone board member, in 2020 to not only provide a selection of curated products from UP artisans and businesses, but to also give 50% of the profits back to the UP charities, in addition to youth scholarships. One of those recipients of the 906 UP Authentic Scholarship, Emma Johnson. Go green. The Stack and Catherine Smith Award, a plaque and scholarship, is presented annually to the male and female graduates who place highest on the priority scholarship list and who have also earned a minimum of 4 athletic letters or awards in at least 2 separate sports. It is my pleasure to present the Stack and Catherine Smith Plaque and Award to Anna Smith and Nathan Lord. Dietrich Teacher Education Scholarship was established by his family and friends to honor his career as a teacher, principal, and administrator of Escanaba schools. Lewis was well-known as a believer in strong academics and also a strict disciplinarian. Some students also knew him as he slid into third base with his school dress pants on, or as he brought food or clothing to their homes if they had fallen on hard times. He was for the whole child, and he worked toward that goal, often relying on a favorite adage: right is right, even if no one is doing it, and wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. The recipient of this award goes to Mr. Kaler Geyer. The Escanaba Education Association has established an academic scholarship to be awarded to a college-bound senior who exhibits a strong interest in the educational field. This year's recipient of the Escanaba Education Association Teaching Scholarship is Josie Schaefer. Melvin Karkin was a loyal Eskimo fan, a hockey coach, and a Boy Scout volunteer for many years. Mel donated his time and talents to the Eskimo Fan Club as a builder on the igloo and press box. He loved to follow baseball, football, and most of all, his grandchildren. Mel and his wife, Ruth, raised 3 children, Cheryl, Michael, and Thomas, who graduated from Escanaba High School. It is through their passion for education that this scholarship was established. The recipient of the Melvin H. Karkinen Memorial Scholarship, Mr. Kaylor Gard.
I would again like to introduce Chris Aiken, teacher consultant at EHS.
The Escanaba Rotary Club is proud to uphold the tradition of participating annually in this honors program. This scholarship is awarded to a senior who is outstanding in character, leadership, service, and is chosen by the Rotary Scholarship Committee. This year's recipient of the Escanaba Rotary Club Award are 2, Anna Valakit and Madeline Gardner. They thank me thinking it comes out of my account, but it doesn't. Makes me feel good. All right. Christy Salo enjoyed watching her Eskimo grandchildren excel in the classroom and in athletics. Garen Salo was a 2017 graduate and an all-UP football selection. Gabby Salo graduated in 2020 as a 2-time state champion in softball and Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year. Both were National Honor Society members. Her scholarship is given to an Eskimo athlete that works hard in the classroom and on the athletic field, and their success is truly enjoyed and celebrated by their family. This year's recipient of the Christy L. Salo Memorial Scholarship is McKenna Bullen. Don't forget, we got a game tomorrow. Double header. Be there. I will. All right. The desire to continue giving after one's life is over is the goal of the Dale Merchikowski Memorial Scholarship. If you knew Dale, were helped by him, or laughed with him during his 50 years on Earth, you know why it was his wish to continue giving. The recipient of the Dale A. Merchikowski Memorial Scholarship is Spencer Fennell. The first scholarship for this district was established by Mrs. H.W. Reed in memory of her husband, who has been a president of the National Coal Company, a local industry. The recipient of this year's H.W. Reed Scholarship is Grace Charles. Mary Lorraine Green was a secretary for the Escanaba schools for 30 years. Together with her husband Wendell, they wanted to support a graduate to further their studies in college. The recipient of the Wendell and Mary Green Memorial Scholarship is Jackson Vizina. You're a good Mo buddy, too. For 2 years. Good boy.
I am happy to introduce Dr. Kobe Fletcher, Superintendent of Schools.
Through a generous donation, the Matt Smith Senior Memorial Scholarship is given to a graduate who is enrolled in college or university in the fall. This year's recipients of the Matt Smith Senior Memorial Scholarship are Brianna Hayme and Trevor England. The Arlene S. Smith Scholarship will be awarded to a graduate continuing their education in nursing. After graduating from St. Mary's School of Nursing in Milwaukee in 1953, Arlene returned to Escanaba and worked at St. Francis Hospital prior to raising their 6 children. Mrs. Smith was always very loyal about giving back to her community and helping others going into the nursing profession. The recipient of the Arlene S. Smith Memorial Scholarship is Allie Larson. Albert J. Young was a pioneer businessman in Escanaba. He is remembered for being very civic-minded and for helping people. Therefore, his wife established a scholarship in his memory. This year's recipient of the Albert J. Young Memorial Scholarship is Anna Smith. Don McKee taught math and science in Escanaba for over 40 years and was faculty advisor for the Orange and Black Club. He was a firm believer in the power of education. The recipient of the Donald T. McKee Memorial Scholarship is Paige Shaler. Escanaba Area Senior High School has received a scholarship through the Greater Milwaukee Foundation in honor of Anna M. Kolich to a student who displays excellent character and work ethics. This year's recipients are Jenny Zhao and Bryant Mackey.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you teacher consultant Mrs. Christine Aiken.
It's like Groundhog's Day, right? All right, my dad had this guy as a teacher, and the funniest stories, and even his name makes me smile because I like saying his name. So this scholarship, go here. The William Pucklewart Scholarship was established to memorialize his 42 years of service in this district and his loyalty to his alma mater, the University of Michigan, where he was an outstanding athlete participating in varsity football and baseball. The William H. Pucklewart Scholarship is awarded this year to Gavin Erickson. The Forrest and Mary Hensley Scholarship was developed by the Hensley children in honor of their parents. Mr. Hensley was the president of the State Bank of Escanaba for over 30 years, and his wife, Mary, worked in the Escanaba area as a nurse, as well as an active member of the most women's clubs. The recipient of the Forrest and Mary Hensley Scholarship is Riley Lamb. Eva Flemstrom graduated from Escanaba Area High School and attended Oberlin College, Northern Michigan University, and the University of Michigan. She taught in several private schools and later returned to Escanaba to teach. It gave Eva Flemstrom great satisfaction to know that her donation to the GFWC Escanaba Women's Club would give worthy students a chance to reach their goals through education. The recipient of the Eva Flemstrom Memorial Scholarship is Anna Valakit. Anne Christine O'Donnell, a 1985 graduate of Escanaba Area High School, was a true scholar. She was in the top 10 of her class, a National Honor Society member, and on the Quiz Bowl team. She was extremely active in music, drama, and athletics. the Ann O'Donnell Memorial Scholarship hopes to keep her love of learning alive. This year's recipient is my old camping buddy, Abby Deerwine. Through the generosity of the Bosk family, they have established their scholarship to honor the loving memory of their parents, Robert and Olga Bosk. The Bosk Corporation became a major painting contractor throughout the Midwest. Robert was an avid pilot, and Olga supported her husband and family with love and care. There are 2 recipients of the Robert A. and Olga Bosk Memorial Scholarship, and they are Tyler Lawson and Gabriel Wagner.
I would like to once again introduce Liz Schlenko.
The Robert A. and Ruth Owen Memorial Scholarship was set up by Robert's brother, Russell Owen. The recipient of the Robert and Ruth Owen Memorial Scholarship is to go to an individual who will be entering the medical profession. The recipient of this year's award is Madeline Gardner. Brad Johnson graduated from Escanaba Area Senior High School in 1992. Brad enjoyed all sports, especially golf and hockey. On behalf of his parents, his entire family, and all his friends who helped make this scholarship possible, I would like to present the Brad Johnson Memorial Scholarship to 2 young gentlemen, Nick Kolich, Curtis Kuchenberg. Miss Olive Lefebvre was born and raised in Escanaba and graduated with honors. Due to her intense interest in the education of our youth in Escanaba, she left a bequest to provide an annual scholarship. This year's recipient of the Olive C. Lefebvre Memorial Scholarship is Grace Carlson. Catherine Boniface immigrated from Ireland and moved to Garden, Michigan, where she worked in a boarding house for $2.50 a week. She married William Boniface, and eventually they earned a fortune in the lumber industry. The recipients, there are 3, of the Catherine Boniface Memorial Scholarship are Curtis Kuchenberg, Kira Magnuson, and Keely Pomeroy. Everyone knows the importance of a good education. If it weren't for the wonderful gift of scholarships, it may not have been possible for many to see their dreams become reality. The class of 1959 met and formed a scholarship committee who are dedicated to make dreams come true for students at the Escanaba High School. This year, the award is in memory of Nancy Stonecliffe Maringer, Gerald Rose, and John Bellaful. The recipient of the class of 59 scholarship is Devin Beauchamp.
I would now like to welcome Assistant Principal Jessica Garber.
Ruth Betsy Addison gifted this scholarship in memory of her parents, Carl and Ruth M. Wickham, and her husband, Robert W. Addison. Betsy and Robert were Escanaba natives and met at the Chicago's Art Institute. Robert William Addison is a well-known Chicago artist whose masterful use of light in his paintings made his work new exciting, and incredibly realistic. The recipients of the Carl and Ruth M. Wickham and Robert Addison Memorial Scholarship are Holly Chenier and Ryan Moreau. Jody Bisdee was an extraordinary person who distinguished herself at Escanaba Senior High School through excellence in academics and participation in plays, forensics, band, and other creative activities. Jody's family, including her 2 daughters, established a foundation to provide scholarships to deserving young men and women with leadership potential. This year's recipient of the Jody Bisdee Memorial Scholarship is Jenalyn Anderson. Jack Moline was a successful man. The only degree he held was a diploma from Escanaba Area Public High School. But what made him a success was his drive to always do the very best in everything he did. Jack excelled in academics and sports, lettering in both football and track. This scholarship is given in his memory by his wife, Mary, and their children, John Jr. and Susan, and members of the class of 1944. This scholarship was also funded by the efforts of Jack Beck, who passed away in October of 2014. The recipient of the Jack and Mary Moline and the Class of 44 Memorial Scholarship is McKenna Bullen. Donald Anderson lived his entire life in Escanaba. He loved our city and frequently said, "If you can find a job here, there is no better place to live." Donald was known to be hardworking, kind, and a humble man. At age 13, when his father died, he quit school and found many part-time jobs as necessary to help support his family of his mother and 4 brothers and sisters. Together, he and his wife Audrey built one of the largest construction companies in our area. He was the chief contractor of Verso Paper for 27 years. In addition, he built an industrial park that included selling metal buildings and renting construction equipment. Donald and Audrey's granddaughter, Sarah Anderson, created this scholarship. Sarah graduated from Escanaba High School in 2017. While in 8th grade at Holy Name, Sarah came in 2nd place in the Michigan Farm Bureau Insurance statewide essay contest called My Michigan Personal Hero. Each year, over 400 school districts submit their finalist essays. Sarah chose to write about her grandfather and titled her essay, My Grandpa, My Hero. Sarah closed her essay with these words, "In my eyes, what really makes Grandpa a hero is that he gave all the credit to God, not himself. As I think of how much my grandpa has inspired and motivated me, I hope I can seize the opportunities to do the same for someone else. I'll be thinking of my grandpa and working toward that goal in his honor." That goal becomes a reality tonight to a senior who attended Holy Name School. The recipient of the Holy Name Scholarship is Lisette LaFave. The Copland Family Music Scholarship was established with a generous contribution for a student interested in pursuing a degree in the field of music. This year's recipient of the Copland Family Music Scholarship is Thomas Hubert.
I'd like to welcome back our athletic director, Anthony Perino.
Mr. George Ruich was a high school teacher, administrator, and coach in the Escanaba school system from 1936 through 1955. He taught upper level math and science classes and was also an assistant principal and assistant superintendent. His real claim to fame was a basketball and football coach. The recipient of the George Ruich Memorial Teaching Scholarship, Nicole Kameen. Miss Sherry Burnt was a dedicated wife and mother. Through the efforts of close family and friends, they collectively completed and marketed the Homemade Memories cookbook, which Sherry was working on prior to her death. The proceeds from the sale of this cookbook allowed the family to set up the scholarship in her loving memory. The recipient of the Sherry Burnt Memorial Scholarship and a copy of her cookbook go to Makara Hughes. Both Frank and Mamie Louie had a sincere belief in the youth of the Escanaba area. Through their strong interest in the success of our young people to further their education, they set up the scholarship to assist in that endeavor. This year's recipients, and there are 3, of the Frank and Mamie Louie scholarships are Faith Lancor, Josie Baxter, Ariella Murray. Peter R. Morey graduated from Escanaba High School in 1959. He served 30 years in the United States Army and retired as a lieutenant colonel in 2004. Peter married the former Susan Rice in Escanaba in 2005. It is my pleasure to award the Peter R. Morey Memorial Scholarship to Glyceria Economopoulos. The Gary Abramson Senior Athletic Award. This award was created by his wife, Patricia Abramson, and through the generosity of the Abramson family. Gary Abramson Sr. demonstrated that he had a tremendous amount of passion in athletics and a tremendous amount of love for the Escanaba Eskimos. He was the 25th recipient of the Herman Gesner Trophy in 1949, now called the Gesner Fotenhauer Award. Back then, Escanaba High School was only 3 grades, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and Mr. Abramson won a possible 8 of possible 9 varsity letters in football, basketball, and track. He knew firsthand the dedication, perseverance, and drive that it takes to earn multiple varsity letters while still excelling in academics. This athletic award is given to the boy and girl of the graduating class who achieved the most athletic varsity letters with a minimum of a 3.0 grade point average. It is with great pleasure that I would like to congratulate this year's recipients of the Gary Abramson Senior Athletic Trophy and Scholarship to Nicole Kameen and Brody Bevins.
I would like to introduce Board of Education Treasurer Todd Milkowitz.
Georgia Owens was a teacher in the Escanaba schools who dedicated her years of service to her students and to her community. This year's recipient of the Georgia Owens Teaching Scholarship are Emma Johnson and Kendra Bouchard. It was the desire of Irwin and Margie Gibbs to award a scholarship to the graduate who plans to pursue a career in the nursing profession. Both Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs have always had the highest admiration for those individuals in the nursing profession. The recipient of the Irwin and Marge Gibbs Memorial Scholarship are Teresa Myers and Mackenzie King. Joyce and Willard Barrow lived most of their lives in Escanaba. The Barrows moved back to Escanaba in 1946 and broke the ground for their new dealership. Together, the Barrow family thrived in their dealership and grew. For providing the scholarship is a way of helping others in education, pursuing a career. This year's recipient of the Willard Joyce Barrow Memorial Scholarship is Adam Krennick. Daniel Stein was a prominent businessman in Escanaba. His generosity provides an annual college scholarship. This year's recipient of the Daniel Stein Memorial Scholarship is Tanner McDonald. The Thomas Bernice McDermott Memorial Scholarship has been established by his wife, Dee, and their 4 children, Michael, Patrick, Catherine, and Ann. Tom graduated from Escanaba Area High School and worked as a social worker. He had a major impact on his clients and his continuing efforts to pursue a higher degree of education for his students. Bernice taught school here at Escanaba and was a loving mother, grandmother, and aunt. The recipient of the Thomas and B. McDermott Memorial Scholarship is Lilia Hughes.
I would once again like to introduce Elizabeth Schlembold.
The B.A. Copeland Scholarship, established through a generous contribution, is awarded annually to a graduate who intends to obtain a bachelor's degree and meets the criteria specified by the donor. This year's recipient of the B.A. Copeland Scholarship is Grace Rexford. The Naomi Taylor Memorial Scholarship was established by the Taylor family to honor their loving and dedicated wife and mother. Mrs. Taylor and her husband Al, who owned the Northern Insurance Agency of Escanaba, raised 3 children, Lori, Gary, and Gail. Mrs. Taylor was very proud and thankful for the education her children received at Escanaba High School. This year's recipient is Brett Schlumberg. In appreciation for accepting them as physicians, Doctors Thomas and Edna McInerney wanted to give back through this scholarship. In 1940, they began their medical careers. Thomas was drafted into the U.S. Army in 1942, and Edna continued his practice. In 1973, Thomas passed away suddenly, and Edna resumed a full-time practice, retiring in 1994. On behalf of the McInerney family, we wish to send our best wishes to Amanda Bean. After working in several locations throughout the United States, Dr. E. James Gordon's surgical practice was established in Escanaba, where he became the leading surgeon in Delta County for many years until his retirement. This year's recipients, and there are 4, of the Dr. E. James Gordon Memorial Scholarships are Madeline Chernick, Abigail Dieter, Whitley Boymanen, and Sage Chepko. George and Stanley St. Louis were both born and raised in Escanaba and attended Escanaba Senior High School. It was their request that this scholarship be placed in honor of their mother, Maria, who for her efforts during World War I served her country through aiding the soldiers with the clothing she made. The recipients of the Maria, George, and Stanley St. Louis Scholarship are, there are 5, Shaylee McCoskey, Aaron Davidson, Caleb Owinga, Colin Arndt, and Marlene DeLoria.
Next, it is my pleasure to reintroduce Jim Boshaw, Vice President of the Board of Education.
Mr. Arnie Mackey has been associated with the field of banking, starting with the Union National Bank and ending his career as the President Director of First National Bank of Escanaba. Mr. and Mrs. Mackey felt a passion for education and all young people, and is the reason they have established the Arnie and Violet Mackey Memorial Scholarship. This year's recipients are Ava Burrows and Macy Langford. Charles H. Gessner Family Scholarship is to be awarded to a student from the priority list of this matriculating to the University of Michigan. If any of you know me, that's a big word for me. The recipient of this scholarship should be demonstrated positive character and honest, ethical behavior, and the recipient of the Charles A. Gessner Family Scholarship is Gavin Erickson. Mr. Oliver Felton believes that the hard work and perseverance to achieve one's goal, 2 in 1 night, this is horrendous, had no training or background in electronics, but taught himself and rose to become a dominant wholesale electronics distributor. At the age of 60, his building burned to the ground and he lost most of his inventory. He regained his position as a leading distributor in the region. The recipient of the Oliver Fenton Memorial Scholarship is Anna Smith. Louis Ketchinger was a very quiet and kind man, always interested in the welfare of his community. True to his spirit and generosity, he established a scholarship to assist students of the community with their educational endeavors. The recipient of the Louis Ketchinger Memorial Scholarship is Aliyah Darashi. I swear this is a setup. Dr. Leanne Kenowitz is a radiologist, United Air Service veteran of the Korean War. He is a board-certified nuclear medicine and is a longtime member of the Escanaba Rotary Club and a past president and member of its trustee board. The Escanaba Rotary Trustee Board met and voted and awarded the inaugural Leon Kenowitz, MD, Escanaba Rotary Scholarship to a young man, an Eskimo senior planning to attend Central Michigan University in the fall and expects to follow Dr. Kenowitz to the healthcare field by becoming a physician assistant. It's my honor to award Dr. Leon Kenowitz Escanaba Rotary Scholarship to Nathan Lord.
The Gary and Patricia Abramson Family Scholarship was established by the Abramson family to reward and enable academic excellence. The award is given in honor of Gary Abramson Jr., who graduated from Escanaba High School in 1969. Gary entered college at 35. He was so proud of his excellent grades as well as his direction in life that he'd chosen. At age 37, Gary suffered a cardiac arrest while jogging. Gary survived, but his lack of oxygen left him without day-to-day memory. He would never reach the goal of becoming a nurse anesthesiologist. In those few moments without oxygen, he lost memory of his family life as he knew it. He emerged from a coma 6 weeks later and now needed care around the clock. Gary returned home to live with his mom and dad for the next 25 years, and he enriched lives in countless ways. Sadly, Gary passed away in 2013. He would be so happy to know he is remembered tonight in an academic setting. He would be so happy to know that the Gary Abramson Jr. Memory Care Center is a reality and that our great community has come together to make that happen. The Gary Abramson Jr. Memory Care Center is a day program for people with Alzheimer's, dementia, and brain injuries. Caregivers will be able to receive the respite time they so desperately need. The Memory Care Center will enable their loved ones to have a better life and remain at home. No, Gary's life was not in vain. He touched so many people in so many ways and will continue to do that with the Gary Abramson Memory Care Center and the Abramson Family Scholarship. I'm extremely gratified that his memory will live on. It is with great pleasure that I would like to congratulate this year's recipient of the Gary and Patricia Abramson Family Scholarship to Jessica Johnson. Arthur and Alyn Arnson were lifelong residents of Escanaba. Both contributed many years of loyal service to their church, school, and community. This scholarship is given in the memory by their children, Mr. Don Arnson, Mrs. Jean Peterson, and Mrs. Ann Streeter. This year's recipient of the Arthur and Alyn Arnson Memorial Scholarship is Paige Werhanowitz. Al Taylor was a graduate of Escanaba Senior High School, class of 1946. He was the last of 10 children and was born and raised in Escanaba. He was the founder of the Northern Insurance Agency. Through a generous donation, Al Taylor is honoring his children, Lori, Gail, and Gary, who graduated from Escanaba High School, and his wife, Judy, by awarding this priority scholarship. The recipient of the Al Taylor Family Scholarship is Brody Bedmans. Clarence and Della Lemeron were lifelong residents of Escanaba. Both contributed many years of loyal service to Harnish Figure Corporation, working very hard to provide a great beginning for their 3 children, Robert, Gail, and Dorothy. Mr. Gail Lemeron is privileged to donate his parents in honor in the future of Escanaba area students. This year's recipients of the Clarence and Della Lemeron, there's 3, Memorial Scholarship are Vanessa Fields, Mackenzie King, and J.C. Morrow.
I would again like to introduce Michelle Geyer, EHS instructor.
The Francis and Nancy Taylor Scholarship, established through a generous contribution, is awarded annually to a graduate who intends to obtain a degree from a Michigan public college. The recipient of the Francis and Nancy Taylor Scholarship is Josie Schaefer. Alice and Marlon Perry created this scholarship fund in memory of Alice's parents, Magda and Peter Clemenston, and her sister, Margaret Rose. The family worked together to survive the Great Depression, and these experiences gave the Clemenston children an optimism that anything was possible. The recipient of the Magda and Peter Clemenston and Margaret Rose Memorial Scholarship goes to, and there are two, Molly Tackman and Madison, Michigan. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Cliche, yes, but so true. It's not always about being the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest. Sometimes it's just about showing up. Day in and day out, showing up for whatever life may bring, one foot in front of the other with a positive attitude. Endurance is a trait to be admired. Perseverance, too. This scholarship today is given to the student who has done just that. They have literally shown up every day. This scholarship is to reward their commitment to academics and in the hope that it will aid them as they continue to thrive in their future academic endeavors. The sponsor of this attendance scholarship wants the recipients to know that there is another person out there who's been in their shoes and is cheering them on. I am especially honored to present this scholarship this evening since the donor is a former student of mine. Jonathan Wolf Barron, an Escanaba graduate of class 2008, had perfect attendance elementary through high school. Yeah, I know, really. Yeah. And John believes that a mentality of perseverance coupled with the grace of God has led him to where he is today, a successful business owner and entrepreneur in Portland, Oregon. He couldn't be here today, but he hopes that by providing this scholarship, the recipient will not only be encouraged to keep dreaming big and working hard, but know that all you might find some hope too. Showing up every day makes all the difference, and it pays for itself in the long run. The first runner-up for the Jonathan Barron Attendance Scholarship, which is $5,000, goes to Aaron Rosendahl. And it is my pleasure to award the $10,000 Jonathan Barron Attendance Scholarship to Jenny Zapp.
And lastly, I would like to introduce Bob Shaler, President of the Board of Education.
First, I'd like to say to Mr. Boscia, I had that scholarship 2 years ago and struggled too, so feel bad. All right. It is my pleasure to present the Anna C. Norton Class B Memorial Scholarships. First up, Bryant Mackey. Derek Douglas. Teresa Myers. Now it's also my pleasure to present the Class A Anna C. Norton Memorial Scholarships. Nathan Lord. Jenny Zhao. Lycura Economopoulos. Aspirin Birch. Robert and Elva Hearn, lifelong residents of the Escanaba area, have always been concerned about the educational development of young people. Their concern for leadership, good moral character, and education has led to the development of the Robert J. and Elva Hearn Class C Scholarship. This year's Class C recipients are Anna Valakit, and Nicholas Carlson. It's now with great honor to present the Robert J. and Elva Hearn Scholarship Class B Memorial Scholarships to Lisette Lefebvre. Let me take that one back from you. Gavin Erickson. Of course, we can't forget this one. It's with great honor to present the Robert J. and Elva Hearn Scholarship, Class A Memorial Scholarship to Madeline Gardner.
I realize that's a long ceremony, but it's well worth the wait, I think. So, all right. In closing this evening's ceremony, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our generous donors again who have made tonight possible for our class of 2021 seniors. A huge thank you, she's sitting in the wings, to Miss Sandy Dufresne in our high school main office for her countless hours that go into preparing. Would not be the memorable evening that you just experienced. And to all of our Escanaba junior and senior high school staff who are dedicated to helping all of our students achieve their academic potential by encouraging them to do their very best each and every day and bringing them to this very moment. And a quick shout out in the wings up high to Miss Laura Robinson and Mr. Robbie Miller, our band directors, who are making streaming possible. They are up there waving at all of you, so thank you. And I'd just like to remind our seniors a couple of things, right? We've kind of beaten this into your heads, but we have mandatory rehearsal at 10 a.m. on Friday morning. Please be in your seats at the athletic field ready to roll, and we're in the practice field closer to the lakeshore. Our graduation ceremony will take place at 6 p.m. in that practice field at the athletic field. Graduates must be lined up by the igloo by no later than 5:30, right? Arrive at 5:15. Families, our doors will open down there at 4, but please, there's plenty of room, so I don't want everybody to get cold. The temperature is right now about 57 degrees and no rain, so dress warm. There'll be plenty of seating, but please don't forget to bring a lawn chair or a blanket for yourselves there. And tonight's ceremony was live streamed and will be recorded on our district website at eskimos.com.
You'll also find a link to the graduation ceremony on our Eskimos.com site as well. Thank you to everyone for attending. Have a great evening.